G'day guys, it is Ben
and Jake
from Hunt the Night. Now, we've got some cool shit today.
Yeah, a bit late, but it's alright, we're here finally.
Well, one day.
Yeah.
We're only because we're waiting on something. Last week we promised we're going to talk about this device, which is the Element module. But we're expecting it before we got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got it.
Glad it arrived finally.
But let's recap the week first before we get into this. Been crazy this week.
Yeah.
Huge amount of interest in the Mark IV.
Massive.
Like, I think we're now taking orders for things that we don't have.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to expect to see those Mark IVs very soon. If you want one, I don't know what calibers we've got left. I think we've got about 40 guns coming in total, but I think most of them are gone.
Yeah, 22s, 25s are closing out. 30s, we've got a couple.
Yeah.
35, I think we've got a couple left.
Yeah, anyway, Mark IV is going to be huge, and we will talk about that as soon as they're here, which we're excited about. What else has been trending this week? Centerfires have been moving really well.
Yeah, centerfires.
Lots of thermal gear again.
Lots of guns actually. This is a week for guns actually. Yeah, a lot of builds, cool builds coming.
Especially with permits running at 3 weeks. It's frustrating, but there's been a lot of guns going out the door this week.
So
but let's kick into it and let's introduce. Let's first talk about this rangefinder series, okay, from Element. So Element dropped these two devices month and a half, 2 months ago,
give or take,
that. And look, these are very cool devices. All three of them are very cool. Oh no! You can't see this, but my wife is pretending to flash her boobies at me and Jake from out the window, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we got a camera up there. I'm going to pull the security footage." Anyway, Element dropped these two devices on us a couple months back, and we're waiting on this one. Okay, all of these are rangefinders. Great. 1500 meter rangefinder, a 3 kilometer rangefinder, and a 1 kilometer rangefinder. Okay, all of them are ballistic in terms of they'll give you a holdover information. These two will give you firing solutions. As well, like either MIL or MOA. Point and click. They're lightning fast. They do have one of the nicest eye boxes on a rangefinder that I've seen anyway. Controlled by the Element app. Okay, so with these devices, you can, in your Element app, you can have 4 different ballistic profiles for 4 different guns. You can upload the one for which one you can take it, and using then your scope, you can make your adjustment.
Correct.
Okay? Yeah. We see that in other devices, but
oh my god, phone's not loud.
How did you not put your phone on silent?
It's busy.
Oh no, maybe throw it on silent.
I just did.
Oh, cool. We've seen this type of stuff in other devices. What we haven't seen though is sub $1,000 devices.
Correct.
Like, for a 3K, I think it's under $1,000. Yeah,
it is.
It's like $999.
$999.
And it's like $789 for a 1500, right?
Yep.
So we're seeing price point wise on these things is phenomenal. Performance is phenomenal. But what is exciting is this one. Okay? This one here is a little module that you can put onto any scope. It's a 30mm tube here. You can mount this to any scope, and again, you can put your ballistic information in, and it's got a little screen on the back here. Once you activate your range, which is again instant, it'll give you your solution in either MIL or MOA, depending which ones you've selected, okay? And that is unreal. It just clicks onto anything. Any scope you can run that on, okay? Like I said, it's got a ballistics chip in it, talks to the Element app the same way. But then we've got this. This is the Hypr-7,
the big boy.
I've had this Hypr-7 for a little while, and it's such a cool device. But I've been waiting for this
we need that.
to put onto it, okay,
yeah.
for a really specific reason. Okay, this is a prismic scope, so it's got an ultra wide field of view and a 7 power, fixed 7 power. We've got parallax adjustment here on the side, and it's got a digital reticle in it.
Sure does.
Ballistic digital reticle.
Ballistic digital reticle.
As soon as you put one of these next to one of these, there's no pairing you have to do. They just start talking to each other, and now you've got a ballistic point of aim on this actual device.
Correct.
Okay, which is super cool. Beyond that, this is a weather station.
Yes.
So it gives you everything except wind.
Yep.
Right? So when you're shooting in that higher altitude, where that type of that information becomes important, this has got an inbuilt weather station. Outside of wind,
which most thermal ballistic calculating scopes don't have.
No, right? It is jam packed full of features. It's got an adjustable 30 MOA base on it. The image quality alone is sensational when you look at it.
It's glass.
It is
gorgeous.
It's glass.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous. But wait, because there's more.
There's nothing that could make this better.
Well, there is.
What?
Well, there's one thing I really was excited about this, because when Matt Dubber took me through this when I was in Germany, I said, Matt, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Okay, I can now take a thermal clip-on, put it on the front of this scope, and attach it. And now I've got a ballistic reticle in here.
Correct.
With the rangefinder.
Correct.
And my thermal clip-on.
And a weather station.
And the weather station. This is so cool, right? Because it doesn't matter which clip-on I use, I don't need to have an inbuilt rangefinder. And in theory, I can use this now on any scope. It doesn't have to be the Hypr-7. The Hypr-7 is just cool because it will give me the ballistic, it will give me the reticle where to shoot. And if I do put the windage in, it will give me the windage, not just the elevation axis. So it is super, super cool from that point of view. But this could be my Theos.
It could be,
my FX, and I'm running this on my Theos, and I'm running a thermal clip-on. This really opens up the door to using thermal clip-ons with holdover.
Sure does.
Because one of the things that we're seeing in a lot of the fixed scopes is the ballistic calculators and so on.
Yeah.
Now we've got it in this.
Now we've got it.
And we can add it on. Bob's your uncle.
You know your data, fix one of these bad boys onto your clip-on. Range.
You do the maths, right? This is, at the moment, 989 Australian dollars.
Yes, correct.
Okay. The tube LRF scope is about the same kind of money.
Yeah.
7, 8, 70 or something like that.
Give or take.
Around that, right? Same kind of money, except the tube LRF scope from Infrared, which is cool, but that's only for the tube series.
Yes. Does not work with, you can't put it on your glass scope.
Can't put it on your glass scope. No. This will work with anything.
Yep, anything.
It'll give you holdover. So, any scope you can dial or first focal plane.
It's a game changer.
These are super cool. Now, it also comes with a Doppler.
Yeah.
It also comes with this, okay? And you can plug this into the back USB-C, and this is a trigger for it. So you can mount that to the rifle stock. You don't have to press the button.
Little remote
you can mount that, so you can be holding, remote triggering, and it's giving you a holdover. It is absolutely sensational. You need to align it with your scope, so a little laser. So, and because one question people are going to ask, well, how do I know where it's pointing? Okay, so when you align it, there's two ways you can kind of do this. One, if you align it, if you mount it up here, so it's vertically aligned with the scope, the plane of the scope is going to be the same.
Correct.
And you can actually offset it, say, a couple of mil to the top left of it. So you've got a general idea where you know it's going to be. Okay. When you align it with a Hypr-7, there's actually a box you can actually align it to. And if it's off to the side, you can align it to your reticle.
Yes, sure
as
can.
well. Okay, so there's certain alignment ways you can do it without a problem. So you don't need that little LRF box pop up to say where you're aiming, because you've preset that up. Little laser pops out of here, so you can set all that up. Super cool.
It's going to be awesome. Also great for PRS. It's not legal in PRS as per their rules, but it's sick. Oh, sweet, there's me dope done.
Well, it is for building dope charts and stuff too. And the best thing too is with the Element app, which is a full ballistic app, you can actually compare all your dope information to your previous dope information that you've got. You can run it through your Straylocks of the world and so on to compare it to make sure it's right. Apply ballistics, all those type of things to reconfirm. But this is, this is amazing. I mean, Vortex have got, their whatever it is, their 4000, whatever it is. There's a huge thing that sits on top, which is pretty cool, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
This is cheaper, just like
slimline, easy to use, basic.
Very, very cool.
Yep. And the Vortex one's in black and white. This has actually got a little bit of colour.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very cool. So there it is, guys. This is quick introduction to the Hypr-7. And a look at the Element Range Finder series, because they are super cool.
They are.
Especially these two. Like, if you're in the market for a rangefinder, for basically no more money, you get these because they're ballistic.
Yeah,
you know? And the eye box on them is just sensational.
This thing's phenomenal.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Tripod mountable, you know, as well. So, because, you know, trying to range something 3K with shaky hands. It's
especially this cold weather.
No, especially this cold
Yeah.
weather. You know, difficult to do. But, you know, tripod mountable, absolutely sensational.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the sizing.
Your sizing, yeah. And they come with these beautiful little packs as well. Oh, anyway, that was my excitement. I'm the owl. Got to figure out.
This is not going to be in the shop anymore. It's gone today.
It's correct.
Yeah.
It's minded up on my 204 tonight. All right, we'll see.
Who's saying you shoot tonight?
Who's paying your wages on Monday? Anyway, let's clear this stuff and let's talk about something else. Super cool. Available at huntthenight.com.au. All right, I'm going to throw these up here. Oh, this is so cool. Now, before we get into the next one, we're going to recap quickly these, okay? We've got these back in stock.
Yep.
Haven't had these back in stock for a little while. Been waiting a while. We do have a review of these on our YouTube channel. But for those who haven't seen them and wondered why we're so excited about these devices, these are the Wild, the 650L. Now, Jake, you've used these extensively.
I've used it a lot, yes, correct.
Tell everyone why we love them.
Many reasons. Obviously, big one for the Thermic rangefinder. Massive plus. Very accurate rangefinder.
Fast.
And one that also goes crazy distances through fog. Like,
Yeah.
we used it that night and it was 1.1 kilometers. Like, unreal.
I know.
Unreal.
It was crazy.
Um,
and you swing it, like remote mounted, these things are amazing.
Yeah.
And the rangefinder's wow.
It
just goes. Yeah.
Very well balanced too for putting it.
Yeah.
We put it on the roof of my car, it was unreal. If you're not remote mounting them, the usability, all one hand can be adjusted. Focus wheel, not at the front anymore, on top, same deal, standby mode, color palettes, still the same functions on the joystick as in for the menu. Yeah.
You know something, there's a cool feature in there that I didn't talk about in our review, is this joystick, right? Out of the box, you've got to move it all the way right to change color palettes.
Correct.
Or all that. You can actually go into the system and tune it and go, my joystick, maybe I want to move it this much.
Really?
Yeah, you can. You can collaborate the joystick to how you want it to move. So you don't have to press all the way forward and all the way back. You can actually change it. I should have covered it in the review, I didn't.
Yeah.
18650 battery.
Yes, removable 18650.
For a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
But that single-handed operation,
Yep.
I mean, the image quality alone, jump on our YouTube channel and watch
we
the
got some
review.
awesome footage.
It is. And all that footage was taken via an iPad.
Yep.
Okay? A lot of, now, we bang on about remote mounting because 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 monopolies
7 out of 10,
sell
yeah.
a remote mounting,
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
So by remote mounting, for those of you who don't know, up next to a spotlight or a spider bot or something like that on the roof externally of a vehicle. Where we've seen a lot of issues in the past, TIC Micro have now solved it in their 5G, which is fantastic. Where we've seen a lot of issues in the past is lag,
Wireless
Wi-Fi,
connectivity.
or they drop the definition of the image for the bandwidth restriction.
To
Okay.
accommodate,
So when we did the review of this one, we recorded all the footage via the iPad just to show you how good it looks.
This was the first
over
time we'd
Wi-Fi.
taken it out too,
Yeah.
and we were like, we were amazed every time we're looking through it. We were like, wow, this is just too good.
Yeah. So definitely these Thermic Wild series are right up there on
They
our
are.
list of products that we really like.
Yeah, and we just cleared our back order, so
Yeah, we've got like not many left.
not many left.
Anyway, who knows what people are going to be watching this? We could have heaps at the time.
Yeah,
What do we got here?
the big boys, top end night vision, 4K. The two kings at the moment, really. What's good? What's not good?
So we've got
What do you think of them?
We've got the Pard. Now, this is what they call their Night Stalker. So it looks a lot like a DS35.
Yep.
Has the same battery system in terms of the 18650 through the side.
Same housing actually.
Same housing,
Yep.
but it's a night source. It's the 4K integrated or LRF and
IR, yep.
Okay, pretty lightweight, super long.
100 mil.
Yeah,
You've got
eye relief on
eye relief on
is huge.
Yeah.
You know, it is really, really long.
Yeah.
Recording is to an SD card.
Yes.
And it's fair to say, sorry, Pard, the Wi-Fi sucks.
It does, unfortunately.
So if you want to record and try and transfer things, you know, it's got to be done via an SD card.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that's pretty old school.
It is very old school, actually. Yes.
Because you need an SD card reader then to stick it into something to download it, you know, and so on. It has that infinite focus on the front, so you open up the little hole there. So during the day, you don't need to focus it. Okay, it's got like based off the pinhole principle in photography. It runs though. It doesn't run an f1 lens.
No.
So at night time, I find the image grains out
A tiny bit of graininess. Yeah.
The day optic on it is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's
but
very
I do
nice.
find compared to this, it probably it's good.
Just not there.
Oh, and they're both mounted 30mm rings.
Yeah. There's a couple of pros and cons of them.
There is
both,
pros and
like,
cons.
Yeah.
Weight on this one is a big one.
Unreal.
Okay. The ballistic calculator is spot on. The inbuilt laser based.
Yep.
LED is IO is really cool.
Yep.
It's more powerful than what it presents at. The screen in the back though is all being 800 by 800.
Yep.
It looks amazing, but it's a very narrow field of view.
It is a very narrow field of view.
So air guns and stuff, it's cool where you want that narrow field of view. Your pinhole and pigeons and so on. But I have found throwing it on a centerfire or something like that, especially shooting foxes.
Yeah.
It's a really narrow field of view. I find, whereas the 4K, I mean. This is nice.
It is.
A little bit heavier and a little bit bigger. It's obviously significantly.
In saying that heavy, the weightness, like it just feels like it's built, like it's solid. Like,
but when you're talking a couple of 100 grams difference over a 6, maybe a 4 kilo rifle.
Yep.
Okay. Integrated LRF, which is bang on, and it's a little bit. I find it. Look, people look at this. We've never had them come back. These knocked around.
No.
Okay, so you don't need to be worried about this design.
We've never had one,
but it's
busted,
solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't have an inbuilt IR. It does come with an IR. It's not inbuilt. Yep. But I don't mind that because if you want to get the best out of a night vision, I think you've got to upgrade the IR.
You need to run that
anyway,
Excel
okay?
IR. Yep.
Yeah. So with this one here, it's a little bit. You can do it. You don't have to turn that one on, but then you've got stuff there that you don't need as well. The thing I love though is the adjustable aperture, where this will control the light coming in and out of the lens. So unlike the pinhole system here, we can minimize the light coming in during the day, or if it's a foggy day or a low light day, you can adjust this until that image is quite nice, right? Where at night time, you want as much light coming in as possible, crack that open, right? It's really, really nice having that adjustable aperture. It does have the full f1 lens, as well.
It's gorgeous.
So we get the better field of view. So it's 3.5 base mag on this rather than 28.
28,
yeah. Right.
That's a big downside I find of the Pard. They've got, so this is one model, the Alpex 4K, one model.
Yeah.
There's 3 models of the Night Stalker, all the different magnifications, 4 to 8, 5.6 to 11, and 8 to...
Well, these actually go up higher now.
Yeah.
4K. But yeah,
the 8 to 32, I think it is. Yeah,
the 100.
The 100, yeah.
So the onboard recording, Wi-Fi connectivity, which is rock solid.
Audio's rock solid.
But image quality, night and day,
phenomenal.
Man, like the DS35 was a massive seller for us when Part launched that. Okay. This thing has outstripped anything I've ever sold in terms of night vision or thermal.
These have been out for 6 months now, give or take, just under, and we cannot keep them. 6 months later, we cannot hold them. We just keep running out.
Up in the orders. Much nicer button system, same as the Stella, the version 2, the SP50 V2, which is a very, very nice unit.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at kind of night vision devices, These are both excellent.
They're both suited to different needs as well, you know.
Tons of footage on them on YouTube, but we get a lot of questions about where we'd use these.
Also, Neil did a really good review on them on our little Facebook group.
He did.
Yeah. So jump on, have a look at that.
With the video footage as well, because he had the Zulus, I think, in there
the Zulus as well.
We're not talking about because that's a more of a lower end one.
Yeah.
But in terms of high end, that Alpex still blows me away every time I look at it.
It does. It's still the top.
And for $19.99
with a free torch.
Yep. That is exceptional value.
And when we say free torch, it's not just a dud torch. It's actually a really good IR torch.
Yeah. Not as good as the Hunt the Night IR torch.
Not as good as the dual one we've got.
We've started selling a lot less dual ones since we started giving away the serious money with this one, that is for sure. Because it does a very, very good job. Where both of these are excellent, and where a lot of night vision used to have a problem, is in that transition between dusk into dark.
Yeah, that's the biggest killer.
Yeah, where there was always too much light around for an IR to work, but not enough light around for the sensor to work.
Yeah.
Both these units now get well into dark before needing to turn the IR on.
Yeah.
I've had this one out under full moon conditions and been able to see kind of 100, 150 metres without an IR torch at all.
Like twilight's just unreal.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Excellent unit. So if you're looking at night vision devices, these two are well worth considering in terms of that high end.
Another good reason like people buy them as well is that at the end of the day they're both day and night. People still use them during the day with built-in ballistic calculator.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. One consideration, we always try and tell people this about night vision. Night vision has the same limitation as a spotlight.
It does.
Okay? So where a spotlight won't work, humidity, fog, bush, long grass, IR won't work either, okay? IR is basically just an invisible light that reflects off a surface. So once it hits that surface, that's what it's going to reflect. Different to thermal, which is passive, it's listening to light and those heat signatures. So just consider that when you are looking at night vision, it is limited by its environment.
There's always a rule of thumb, night vision's the king for identifying the target, but thermal's the king for detecting it.
Yeah.
So that's why you should always buy a thermal spotter with your night vision at huntthenight.com.au.
I love it. All right, let's get on to our last little thing we're going to have a look at, because these are pretty cool. We may not be talking about the M4 today, but we are going to talk about our second hottest selling air rifle. And we can talk about them now because we've actually got a couple just come in to be able to talk about. I'm just going to open up.
Yeah, it's just broken. I don't want to charge it.
Yeah. Oh, FX DRS. This is a unique air rifle, I'm going to say, from an FX. It is a complete redesign, and you look at this and you wouldn't know right away that this is an air rifle.
No, you wouldn't think it.
And not a PCP air rifle, because what's it missing? It's missing a big carbon fibre
Where's the tank?
isn't it?
I think we're missing the tank on these ones.
Right. So, FX introduced this rifle earlier this year, and one thing they've done is really, this is a precision air rifle. It's not a high shot count air rifle. It was used at by Matt Dubber and the guy who came second at AMARC, whatever it's called, one in the States recently, with the Pro version, which is in the
MDT ACC Elite chassis.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It does. It looks hot.
I can't actually wait to get them. The air tank is actually here, built into the barrel. Okay, we've got two different versions here. It's a 500 and a 700. Okay, and there's a two, and they're different for, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The air tank is built in here to get a very, very, very stiff barrel. Okay, it's only now got the one regulator, which is actually built into the into the unit. It doesn't actually have a different second gauge on it, just to how full it is. You can actually get a regulator gauge for the Plenum. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it's got the AMP Mark II regulator in it, so it can handle high bar air without having to step down like you see in the current Mark III. And we'll explain that a little bit more when we talk about the Mark IV, because it changes everything in that as well. Okay, cycles very, very well. The Plenum, which you could think about the Plenum as your powder charge.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the amount of air that's going to be released behind the projectile to push it out. Okay, and that's changeable. In the 700, this comes with the heavy slug liner and the bigger, more powerful plenum. So this one is designed to shoot your heavier slugs.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to about kind of 26 grains in slugs, you want to start thinking about going to the slug liner. It's got a different twist rate, the longer barrel, the bigger plenum.
Yeah.
Not a high shot count. If you get kind of 40 shots out of it, I think you're doing well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're refilling it. Super accurate devices.
Yeah, they build
super accurate,
Yep.
especially with this stiffness in this barrel. You know, the stock on them is lovely. The only thing I would love to have seen in the stock, and which the stock is missing, these are super lightweight, is there's no sling points.
Yeah, there's
for
no
it.
sling studded up there.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
You can get a Picatinny rail for it, but these are not your customisable.
No. You can't, not yet. Like,
Not
you
yet.
can't go be putting
The chassis.
a Sabre tack, Arca rail on it. I mean, you probably could, but
No,
there's not one out the box.
When we start getting like the Sabre tactical chassis systems for them,
Yeah.
then we're going to start doing some cool things with these, because these are basically built off a REM 700 platform with slight modifications.
Yeah.
To them in terms of the stock design. These plenums though, they're interchangeable, so they come in 3 different sizes off the top of my head. And you can take this plenum and actually put it in that rifle.
In the 500.
In the 500 and give that 500 a fair bit of a kick.
Yep.
As well. So you can, or the 700, you could back it off if you wanted to.
If you wanted to yep.
I don't know why you'd want to do that. A little bit harder to tune. To tune these, you've actually got to take them out of the stock and actually adjust them.
Yep.
They do come out of the factory, these ones, to shoot 18 grains. I think it's about 25 grain slugs off the top of my head. A little bit harder to tune, they're not quite as tunable. But what these are, though, is price-wise, fair income. A sub $2,000 air rifle has put a lot of pressure on the products like the Dreamline, which have been around for a very, very long time. But this DRS is brilliant and lightweight.
Yeah,
like
so light.
Super lightweight and super, super accurate. These are not designed like the FX Impact to be interchangeable in terms of calibers, because the way the barrel system is built. You're not just pulling liners like you can with the FX Impact, but they aren't designed for that. So think about that when you're looking at buying one of these. What are you going to use it for?
Yeah.
Available though in all the calibers.
Yep.
In 177, 22, 25 and 30s. Don't think we see these in 35s.
No.
I think we do. But don't think we see these in 35s.
Not these in 35, no.
But super, super nice.
Awesome little, people look at FX and think, oh, they're so expensive, This is an awesome entry-level PCP.
Well, it's an entry-high level.
Level, yeah. It's not like, break barrel gamos or something.
No.
This is
absolutely,
Yeah.
It is absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely fantastic, these DRSs.
The more I hold this, the more I want it.
These do work best with tube style scopes, because of the way the mag sits up.
Yeah, you get your rings.
It's hard to have a like a Vidar style or a Panther style scope on this because of where the mag sits.
Yep.
So tube style scopes in rings, if you're looking at putting a night vision on this.
We can now.
Yeah, with the high one.
With the high,
yes. But does that work with that only works with the mini mag?
With the mini mag, correct. So you can put the high kick rail on them with the mini mag.
Correct.
Less shot count.
But by the time you do that, and then you stick something like a Panther on, which sits higher and higher again, your cheek's really high.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer to run tube style scopes on this.
I built one of these for a customer with an Element Titan.
Yep.
Oh,
that'd be nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. The No Limit 34mm dovetails.
Yeah.
It looked schmick.
Yeah.
Sat so nice.
We should talk about those No Limit rings at some point because they're really cool. The adjustable height.
Yeah.
Adjustable MOA rings. They're very, very cool. These DRSs are phenomenally good. And the feedback, we sold heaps of them. The feedback's just been outstanding.
Our first whole shipment was gone.
And we pretty much bought the whole first shipment that
came
to Australia.
We didn't even have one to play with.
No, we didn't have one to play with. Really nice. Yeah. I think that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we got anything else to cover today. We did get a comment last week in the YouTube, which we'll cover off next week. You've got to remind me because we're going to do it today, but I forgot to even tell you. We'll talk about QD mounts next week.
Oh yeah,
okay?
I'm down for that.
And the different QD mounts. We'll look at the rings.
Yep.
Versus
one pieces
versus bow bros versus just to straight up in him out with the torque wrench.
Sure.
We can have a chat about that as well. Yeah, but
That's
apart
a
from
good
that,
one, yeah.
apart from that, I reckon we're
Pretty buttoned up for this week.
about done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Specifically, we're not in the ocean. Specifically,
Back on your cruise, mate.
Why not? Okay, I missed that. I'm going to change my voice fast. It was a bit Hawaii. I don't want to be. Anyway, if there's anything else you guys want us to have a look at as well on this, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, but most of all,
Buy from Hunt. No, what were you
well, I was
going
going
to
to say tag a
say?
bit.
I was going to say buy stuff from Hunt the
Buy
Night.
stuff from Hunt the Night, but don't forget to tag a bit.
Yeah. What's our code this week?
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. It has to do with the elements, okay? Use the code Element LRF
Yep.
and you'll get 5% off any of the three,
Even the module.
even the
We don't have many of them.
Yeah,
Hang
I
on,
know.
let me order mine
we
now.
Can, we can, it doesn't work to start.
Oh, damn.
Element LRF, get 5% off these. That code will expire, what is the date today? The 2nd, on the 9th of
Got a week.
August at midnight. Element LRF, 5% off any of these rangefinders. For those of you that have already bought them,
Yep.
and we've shipped them, we'll work out the store credit.
Store credit for
because
you,
we
yep.
just decided to do that today. So we'll work out the store credit, not a problem. That is it from us, guys, and
We'll see you
next week.
Thursday.
Thursday,
Friday.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, sometime.
Thursday plus GST.
Yeah.
Could be Friday. Depends. If I can organise something, it might be Friday. If I can't organise it, it'll be Thursday.
Yeah.
Something I'm trying to organise for
Done.
the show. All right. Thanks, guys. Chat to ya.